All right, guys, I am excited to sit down and answer some of your questions about the build. In my last few YouTube videos, I've been asking for any questions that really pertain to our build. If you're new here, we just recently moved in to this home that we built. So I thought I would give a little backstory first, because this whole idea of building really started 5 years ago. Right before we were getting ready to have our 5th baby, we were in our starter home, the first house that we bought right after getting married. And my husband and I bought that house. We loved it. It was perfect for our first family. It had a few acres. It was all one level. It was so great with little toddlers. I could see them at every point of the house. The outside yard space was all nice and flat. We had a little playground. It was really perfect for our family. But right around the time when we were getting ready to have our 5th baby, it started to feel kind of tight. A little bit of a smaller home. We only had 3 bedrooms, so 2 rooms for all the kids, and then obviously 1 for me and my husband. And so we knew that we wanted to start looking for something else. Well, this was also right around the time of 2020. And you guys know that that year got a little bit crazy. The market got crazy. We looked and looked and looked, and we could not find anything that really suited our family, in our budget, the location we wanted, or anything. And so we decided that maybe we would look into the idea of building. Now this time, we definitely did not have the money to buy a lot of land, which was always kind of a goal of ours, to build on some land and also build a house at the same time. So land and house, we knew we couldn't do both. So we decided that maybe we would think about buying a few acres from my dad, my mom and dad. They had a farm, not actually the farm that they live on, but a different farm. And maybe we could just build a house on those few acres. And so we picked out some house plans. We were dreaming about this spot, and we were pretty excited about this idea. And we sat down with a general contractor. We showed them our plans, and we got a bid, and the bid blew us away. It was way over our budget, hundreds of thousands of dollars over our budget. And so we quickly were okay, well, that's not gonna work. And at that time, we had already bought the plans online, which were expensive in themselves, I don't know, around $1,000, maybe $2,000. I can't really remember, $1,500 probably for the plan. So we were pretty bummed, because it felt like we had wasted that money, and now we were back at square one, and we still didn't have a house. So we expanded our search, as far as location goes, and we did end up finding a house when our 5th baby was probably about 6 months old. And we packed our family up and we moved into our new home. And this home was also perfect for our family at the time. It was much bigger inside. It had a couple more acres outside. It had more wood space. So as our kids were getting bigger, we have a bunch of boys. They could go out and explore in the woods and make forts. And it was the perfect home for us. But we knew that we wanted to be in a little bit of a different location, and that we definitely wanted more land. And so we made that home our 5-year plan. When we moved in, we said we'll be here for 5 years. And that's almost about what happened. That was kind of the, obviously things always change, but that was the idea behind what we wanted to do. And so we started looking for land, and we found the farm that we are at now, and we fell in love with it. We came and we looked at it. I was 9 months pregnant with our 6th baby when we came and looked at this. I remember it was a very, very hot day in June. And it was June. Very hot. I was extremely pregnant. And we walked around our whole farm, and we're looking at it, and we were picking out spots oh my gosh, if we ever built here, how beautiful it would be with this facing this way, and with the, all the trees and the scenery. It was beautiful. And so we put an offer on the land, and we purchased it. And we knew that we did not want to start building right away, because we wanted to get the land paid for before we started building, because we really wanted to stay debt-free and stay within our budget. And so we continued living life at our other house. very happily. It was the perfect house for us. And as we started approaching that 5-year mark, really it was right at 4 years when we sold that home, we knew that we needed to start thinking about building. Now, in all of that time, we were like secretly looking for a place with land in a house in our budget because we really didn't love the idea of building. It just sounded really overwhelming. There's a lot that goes into building, which I'll get to in a minute. I have all of your questions like saved here in my phone. I have so many questions to get through, but I thought a little backstory would be helpful first. We couldn't find anything. We looked and looked and looked and there was nothing else, but we also, in the back of our minds, loved this place and loved the idea of building too. And so when we got to the point of ready to list our last home, which you guys have heard that story a little bit, it took 6 months to sell. We had 50 showings. It was a long, drawn out deal. Very stressful time for our family because having a show ready home at that time, now we had 7 kids, it's very, very hard. But we really wanted to sell that house first before we started building because again, we weren't exactly sure what our budget was. Our idea was that we would sell that home and whatever profit we made from that home is what we would use to build this home. And so we didn't want to start building without knowing our exact budget. So once that home sold, we rented a home while we were building this home, and we went back to our original plans and we realized that they were just expensive plans to build, and so we decided to pick out a completely different style house. And we did find, one of the questions someone asked if we designed this house ourselves or if it was like preset plans. So we did find these plans online and we took it to a draftsman who made lots of changes for it. So the outside looks very similar to the plans we found online. The inside is very, very different. We added extra rooms, we added an extra full bathroom, we reshifted the kitchen around to make it bigger. We did lots of things on the inside. It's totally different, but we're very happy with the way that it turned out. So we again sat down with the general contractor. We got a ballpark bid, again, pretty far out of budget. And so we decided that in order to build this home, keep it in our budget, we would have to do a lot of work on our own, and that it would probably be best if we general contracted it on our own too, to really help save money. And so that's what we did. One question I had, let me find it really fast. I'm gonna pull up all my questions here and get started on these, because one said, for newer viewers, they may not realize that this entire project did not happen as quickly as it might seem, but has been the result of literally years of development and planning, from the purchase of lands years ago, infrastructure already being put in place, and imagination brought to life, from planning where the house would be positioned, driveways, etc. So yes, that is true. We had lots of thought going in to this home, the farm, where the house was gonna go, all of that, well before we broke ground. But I will say, once we broke ground, the whole process went really, really fast. We were in our rental home only for 7 months before we moved into this home. Now, as many of you know, we moved in without it being completely done, and that was another question I got asked a ton, was how were we able to move in without it being done with like loan purposes. We did not have to have a loan on the home, and so that's why we were able to move in whenever we wanted to. And we're slowly but surely tackling projects, as you guys have seen, the kitchen and the living room, and we're just like working our way through. But because my husband's doing most of the work on it by himself, it made a lot more sense to move in here and be on site so that he could work on things a little bit quicker. All right, before getting further into this Q&A, I want to tell you guys about today's video sponsor, Caraway. If you've been around my channel for long, you've heard me talk about Caraway. You've seen me use Caraway a bunch. I am a big believer in making healthy food for my family from scratch meals, sourcing ingredients locally or from my own backyard whenever I can, which you guys already know all this. And I would hate to do all of my cooking in a pan that is leached with chemicals and toxins, and that's why I love Caraway. Caraway is a non-toxic cookware brand that offers high quality kitchen essentials. We have been using Caraway in our home for over 2 years now, and I love the way that it looks. It's so beautiful. I love cooking in it, and I love knowing that it's safe for my family. Caraway's cookware is made of ceramic. It's all natural and totally free of toxins, safe, and I don't have to worry about me or my family being exposed to chemicals like Teflon. When you think about how often you use your pots and pans, it's really so important to make sure that they're safe and just as healthy as the food that you're preparing and putting on your table. Caraway's pans use a ceramic coating, which is a naturally slick surface and 100% non-toxic, which means you can use minimal oil or butter and still get those slide off the pan eggs. It also makes cleaning up way easier, which is such a bonus for me. I'm cooking all the time, 3 meals a day, and so I love pans that are just so easy to clean. If you're wanting to swap out your pans for a non-toxic alternative, be sure to check out Caraway. I recommend you getting the cookware set like I did. It comes with the fry pan, the saucepan with a lid, the saute pan with a lid, Dutch oven with a lid, the magnetic storage organizer, and the canvas lid holder. It'll save you 20% by bundling. Plus, you can stack my code HOURLYHOUSE to get an extra 10% off, and you can use my code for any product on their site. Thank you so much to Caraway for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back into the Q&A. So that's kind of the backstory, and now I'm gonna answer some of your questions about the build itself. So the very first thing I got was anything we would change now that we are living here. And I honestly don't think so. Trying to think. There really isn't anything like weird, and maybe if you ask me in like a few years, I'll have something, but currently we kind of like designed this home with our family the way that it is right now, you know, moving in here with 8 little kids. And so we kind of like thought about it, and our kids are still the same ages that they were when we moved in just a few months ago. And so it's like perfectly set up for our family. Now, in maybe some years down the road, as kids get older or we get older, then maybe I would have something that I'd want to change. But currently, no, everything is how we want it. I've had a lot of questions about my husband and what he does for a living and what his background is on building and remodeling and how he knows how to do all this. So he works fully from home, just on the businesses with YouTube and the 2 blogs. That's what he's been doing for the last 5 years. So he's able to make his own schedule, which has been very helpful in this whole process, because he usually does like his like computer business work for the first half of the day, and then the second half of the day he can work on house stuff. And when we were in like the thick of building before we moved in, there was even lots of times when he took like full days off and just spent it out here working on the house. So it's definitely easier whenever you have your own business and there wasn't like a set schedule that he had to work, because he was able to be here and put more time in whenever he needed to. Now, as far as his background goes, he did work like in construction with somebody like right out of high school for a couple of years, I think, but he is just a person that can figure anything out. He is very confident, and whatever the job is, even if it's something he has never done, he will figure out how to do it, and he'll do it right, and he does it really well. He watches YouTube videos, he tries things. There's lots of trial and error, but so many things on this home, it was a first time thing for him, and he just kind of figures out. That's his personality. He is very good at learning new things, and like I said, he is very confident, and so that all has been very helpful throughout this project. What did you do yourselves versus hiring out, and how much did it save? So this list is pretty long. My husband likely, I think he could have easily have built the whole home with not hiring out anybody, but we knew that that would not be feasible with a timeline. We knew it would take forever. He is very busy. Obviously, we have lots of kids. We have a business. There's lots of moving parts. And so he hired out the things that he knew would take him a really long time. And then he chose to do the things that he knew he could do in a timely manner and that would save us the most money. So we did decide to have someone come and dig the foundation, mainly because that requires a lot of like big equipment That we don't have, and so we had someone do that. But then once the foundation was dug, he did all of like the pipes that go around like the outside of the foundation, and dug like trenches for those to go out. I don't really know all the proper terms, but he did all that himself. And then we had someone come back and do the waterproofing, pour rocks in, but then when the rocks would come, he would like spread them out. We do have some equipment. He has a tractor, he has a mini excavator, which he bought a lot of things for this house project, and so he used those things to get some of that stuff done. Then once that was all done, we did hire someone to frame the house. He was here often, kind of like helping and putting in, you know, time as well to help that go a little bit quicker. And then let's see, once the main things that he did was once the house was kind of like framed up, exterior things were done, and we came inside, he did all the electrical work. I say by himself. My brother-in-law is a licensed electrician, and so he helped him with this, which was very nice. And then my husband and a couple of my older boys put in a lot of work with that as well. And we were able to do that very affordable because we were able to do that ourselves. Once that was done, we did have someone do HVAC and plumbing. My husband hates plumbing, so he definitely didn't want to have anything to do with that. He can do HVAC, but again, it's one of those longer, drawn out processes, so we decided to hire someone for that. He did all the installation himself, along with his dad and brother helped him a ton. A couple of the kids helped him. That was a really big, tedious job. My dad helped him also with that. I forgot, like when we did the attic, he helped, so he did all that himself. I don't really know exactly how much everything saved, but he was really good about getting multiple bids since he was his own general contractor. I know that one off the top of my head. The general contractor that we were going to hire, I think they're all very different. A lot of them do percentages, but ours was a flat rate of $35,000, and so that right off the top got knocked off because we GC'd it ourselves. And my husband was really good about getting multiple bids from lots of different people for every single thing. So whenever it was time to drywall, he got lots of bids and recommendations, and then we went with like the best, you know, obviously we're not gonna get like someone that's gonna do a bad job, but the cheapest one that was also highly recommended. So I think getting multiple bids helped to bring our price down as well. Now, once we got drywall done, my husband did all the painting on his own. We have a brother-in-law who is a painter, and so he did help with all the priming, and then my husband actually painted all of the like finishing paint all by himself. He did all of the hanging of all the light fixtures by himself, which I guess that goes into electrical. He hung all the doors, all the doorknobs, all the trim, all the baseboard, all the extra things that we did here. Oh, he did all the cabinets, he installed the stove, hardware in the cabinets, so all the finishing work he did on his own. And I think doing all of that was a really great way for us to be able to stay into budget because we were able to do so much of the work on our own. And when I say we, I mean him. My job in this whole thing was making a lot of decisions, which was extremely overwhelming, like picking every single light fixture in the whole home, deciding what doorknobs you want, what doors you want, how big the baseboards are gonna be, what you want the trim to look like, the floor colors. Like there are so many decisions, and so I made most of those decisions kind of were on me. My husband obviously like, you know, approved or looked over things, but he's not really one to care much about like the design. He cared about cost. If I would pick something that was too expensive, like no, because we can get it for this price. But as far as it actually looking, he could really care less. That was mainly my job. Also collecting things. I made so many trips with lots of kids in tow to the hardware store, like Home Depot and Lowe's, and like going up and down every aisle and asking like, where do I find this? Because he always needed more supplies, and I would like go get it and then bring it to the house. And so that was kind of my thing, was collecting, researching, ordering stuff. It was like, oh my goodness, just every day. And I liked it when he gave me like one thing at a time, like, okay, today you need to order lights. I'm like, okay. Or like, now we need bathroom vanities. Now we need, you know, whatever it is. And it was just overwhelming, but it was nice that he would kind of like give me a little bit at a time. I did get a lot of questions about my stove. Where'd you get your stove and the brand? My stove was actually a secondhand. I got it on Marketplace. It was in a new house build, never used, and the people wanted electric instead of gas. And so I wanted gas, and so it was perfect. It's a Z-line, that's the brand. In fact, yeah, I have the manual right here. It's a Z-line is the brand. It came with the manual and everything because it was like brand new, had a warranty, and I absolutely loved it. So that was nice because it was very cheap on Marketplace because they were just trying to get rid of it. So that was a fun thing. Now, as far as my cabinets, I've had a lot of questions about the cabinets and how to make them look. What did someone say? How do you add character to builder grade? These were the cheapest cabinets I could find at like Menards. And they're the shaker style cabinets. We painted them and added hardware. And then we did some like stacking of cabinets to go up to the ceiling because they didn't have like all the cabinets in like that style in the sizes that we needed to like make them go to the ceiling because they're not custom at all. And I think that they really turned out really beautiful. We also opted to do a lot of drawers. That was my sister's idea. She said that the drawers look way, I don't know, just like they look prettier, and like breaking up all the doors and drawers like separately helps. And then we didn't do too many uppers. We only did uppers over here behind me, and then also here on our fridge, which my husband built like a whole like custom thing around the fridge to like build it in. It's beautiful. I have a whole kitchen reveal video, so if you didn't see that, go back and watch it, and that'll give you a lot more information on the cabinets. What are the kitchen countertops made out of? They are quartz. They are just from Lowe's. It's called Peaceful is the color, and I absolutely love them. They look kind of like marble, and I think they're beautiful. And we were really impressed with Lowe's. They had like, someone came out and like measured for them, fit perfectly. It was a really smooth thing, so I highly recommend that. How many bedrooms was one question, and why not more bedrooms was another question. So we currently have 4 bedrooms in this home. We are going to be adding 2 more in the basement. We have some really big windows down there, so there's lots of light that comes in, and we roughed in a bathroom, and so we'll have another bathroom and 2 bedrooms in the basement, so that'll make it a 6-bedroom home. And for us, that's just plenty. Honestly, the 4 bedrooms right now is working out really well with our family size. Our kids have always shared. We have really good sleepers. We have like kids that are really close to the same age. We have mostly boys, and so them sharing rooms is very easy. There's also an option of having another bedroom here on the main level if we ever need it. That was kind of designed in mind. We also have a full bathroom right here, which was something we added into the plan. But that's kind of in mind for like, as my husband and I, if we really stay here forever, which is like our plan, this is like our forever home, we don't have to worry about any stairs. We could have everything on the same level. We have a bedroom down here and a full-size bathroom, laundry, kitchen, everything would be on one level. But currently, we don't use that as a bedroom. It's just another living space, and it's working out great. And so I guess we don't really think everyone needs their own room. No one's ever had, except my oldest daughter. She's always had her own room because she was, you know, she's the only girl. And so she has her own room. Other than that, the boys have shared, and no one ever, it's never been an issue. And so it works out just great. I would love to know how you decided on the whole house design, from house side style and all the things. It seems so many options. It would be hard pressed to make a commitment. It is true. That was the hardest part, and the main reason why I did not want to actually build is because I didn't want to be overwhelmed with all of the decisions that I had to make and all of that, because it is really weird when you build, you are picking everything. When you move into a house, like when, you know, I've lived in 3 houses counting my rental home, in an apartment. That's like in my married life, my other houses when I was a kid. But you don't walk in and you're like, oh my gosh, look at, you know, like the way that electrical outlet is placed there, or why did they put a light switch there? What an ugly doorknob. Like, you just don't really think through all those things. But when you're the one that actually gets to decide every single thing in a home, like to where you're gonna put the electrical outlets, what height you're gonna put things like the outlets off the countertop, or what doorknob to pick, or light fixtures, it's very overwhelming. And so that was a really hard part, but like I said, I just kind of took a little bit at a time, and I'm not super picky. And thankfully I have some sisters that are really good at interior design. So pretty much everything got ran by my sisters, and that was very helpful, having their help and input along the way. Will your basement be play area, home gym, guest room, project workshop, food storage, all the above? And so I did mention that we are eventually going to be finishing the basement. That's going to be, there's going to be 2 bedrooms, and at first it's just going to be a bedroom for my 2 oldest boys, and then the other side will probably be like a living space, another kind of like living room, a full bathroom, and then on the other side of the basement it is for storage, you know, like extra like kid clothes, Christmas decorations, definitely bulk food storage. We have a big pantry here that has storage as well, which I'm gonna be showing you guys a pantry reveal eventually. I have so many ideas for it. I can't wait to start knocking out that project. But bulk food storage and all of that will definitely all be in the basement. I mean, the basement's big, and so there's plenty of space. I don't really think it'll have any like home gym or things like that. We are building a detached garage outside of our house, and there's gonna be a whole like upstairs where I think we'll put like workout type stuff and kind of like more of a play area, ping pong table, like things like that. We are an outside family, and we spend a majority of our time outside, even in the winter, but definitely like in the fall, spring, and summer. And so that's why I wanted these big porches on both sides of the house. Doors will be open. We don't even really need that much inside space because we spend so much time outside. All right, guess my question would be, how are you funding this new build? I know you sold a house, but this is quite the build. The cabinets look amazing. Will definitely help get things organized for you. Thank you. We love the way the kitchen turned out. Like I said, we sold our last home, and that was the money that we used to build this home. And that's exactly what we did. We were able to stay within our budget. There were some corners that had to be cut, and there was lots of work that we had to do on our own. Like I mentioned, GCing it on our own, but that is how we were able to afford it because we were very diligent about staying within our budget. I'm currently in the beginning stages of my own build, and I'd love to know what decisions, design aspects you made specifically for functioning for a large family that spends a lot of time outdoors. I've been trying to think of things to make my life easier as far as cleaning and daily tasks. Okay, so they're asking about the mudroom, laundry room. I definitely wanted the laundry room and mudroom to be in an easy spot to get to. There's a door, you go in there, and it's like a catch-all. It has tile floor before you get like to the pretty hardwood. And that room is not finished yet. I have a lot of ideas for it, but I'm gonna like definitely be adding a lot of storage to hang things, like all the muddy, like wet snow clothes. It's worse in the winter for sure. But we designed that part to be, like I said, the laundry's in there too. So I think it's gonna be a really nice spot for when kids come in, they drop things, go in the wash, muddy boots, and there's a door on there so I can close it, and then we can come inside. For outside, like I said, the decks are a huge part of our outside space that we wanted, and then we really thought through like where we wanted our house on our farm so that kids can go outside and be very safe. And I also made sure to add a ton of windows. This house has 3+ windows in like every single room so that I have good view to get out to see outside, so I can always be seeing the kids even whenever I'm inside, like cooking or cleaning or something. I think the garage will also help because then we can store like mud boots in there, and I'll have a lot of space to hang like coats and jackets and things in there as well. But currently it's all just in the mudroom. Okay, so I'd love to know if you pick certain products such as you did to pick showers and tubs for kids that are easier to clean with than tile. Where'd you put your utility sink, laundry room, mudroom, basement? Okay, so as far as the bathrooms, we did the same tile in all of them. It's an Edward Martin tile. I love it. I did decide to do gray grout with those, and also in the shower and bathtub that we subway tiled, I did gray grout, even though I think it would look prettier with white. I know that white will get dirty and will be stained, and I won't be able to keep up with it. So I just went straight to gray now, knowing that that's what color it would end up if I did white, to keep it cleaner. I'm wondering how you decided on the kitchen size and layout. We dream of a large family, and I greatly admire you. Thank you. All right, well, thank you. And we did think through the kitchen. Like I said, in our original plans, the kitchen was much smaller. Behind me where you see these cabinets, that was actually the laundry room and mud room, which made my husband's office that's up there way bigger. But we decided to scrunch the office down because he didn't need that much space, and move the laundry room and pantry here so we can make the kitchen way bigger. And it is very big. Our kitchen and dining room. We did 9-foot ceilings also, just to kind of give it a more like spacious feeling. And I think that the kitchen, we have a huge table here that seats, well, for us it seats 10. Probably as kids get older, it won't seat 10, maybe like 8. But it has bench seats on both sides, and we can put 4 kids on each side, and then 2 seats for me and my husband at the end. And then we have our kitchen island here that has 3 bar stools that fit under it. And so we have lots of seating, and then our living room is just right here in front of me with a big couch and another little like seating area. And so we really do have a lot of space to host lots of people and just our own family, because it is large. And then I'm definitely planning on putting a big eating area right out here on the porch, and then probably even another one like down off the porch in the grass there, because when it's warm we like to eat lots of our meals outside. All right, I've had lots of questions about our wood floors, what color they are, where we got them. And so the wood floors are actually, we just got them from like a local flooring company. We did real hardwood floors all throughout the whole home, besides in the 3 bathrooms and the laundry mudroom. That got the tile, Edward Martin tile. But all the hardwood, and it is oak floor, 3 1/4 inch width, and we picked gun stock. That's the color. We got them pre-done. We went back and forth of getting like unfinished floors and then finishing them ourselves. My husband was going to install them himself, but then after we got some bids and went to a few different flooring companies, we thought that the best would be to get the floors already pre-finished. And we love the color gunstock. It was kind of funny because we were picking out colors at different places, and before even like looking at the color, we would just be like, okay, we like that one, that one, and that one. And then we'd realize that we picked out like all the same color. It was all gunstock and like a couple different like finishes. So we knew right away that that was the color that we wanted to have in our home. And then I knew that that was the width we wanted, and we did end up finding someone to install them for us. My husband thought it would take him really long. He did not do the stairs though. So the stairs my husband will be doing. We haven't done them yet. He'll be finishing the stairs and like the banister and all of that. But for the floors, they are oak hardwood, or real hardwood oak, 3 1/4 inch width, and the color is gunstock, because I've had so many questions about those. I had a question, someone asked if we wished the bathroom and closet in our bedroom were switched around. So currently in our bedroom, you walk through the closet to get to the bathroom. And the reason why it's that way, in the original plans, they weren't like that. It was our bedroom, and then there was a bathroom here and the closet here. And when you walked up the stairs on our side, like the, you know, our side, there was our room, bathroom, and bedroom. It was the entire side of the house, and we were like, we do not need this much space. So we kind of like refigured things in order to make a 4th bedroom upstairs. So then we would have 3 kid rooms and then a room for me and my husband. And we put the closet first. I guess the main reason is I like a window in my bathroom, which might seem weird, but I do. And the outside one had a window. And also, I don't know, I don't really wish I switched. I think it's fine the way that it is. We walk through our closet and then we get to our bathroom. I guess ideally you wouldn't have to walk through either, and they'd be side by side, but we did that, like I said, they went this way, and then right along here where that other, the bathroom was, I think this was the closet and this was the bathroom, is an entire bedroom. That's how big it was, and it's a plenty big size bedroom. It's my daughter's room. She has a full-size bed. I mean, it is a smaller room than the other rooms, but because she doesn't share with anybody, it works out just fine. I mean, she has all of her normal furniture in there, and it works out great. So we did that so that we could make an extra bedroom, which was more important for us than worrying about where the placement of the closet and bathroom were. All right, so I feel like this video is going to get very long, so I'll probably stop there. But if you guys have more questions about the build, definitely let me know, and maybe I can do another one later on. But stay tuned, because there are so many more projects in this house. Oh, one more thing I guess I will address. I had so many comments, not necessarily a question, but comments from people saying how bad of an idea it was to move in before the house was done, and that we would never actually finish the house. And now that I've been kind of showing some progress, people are like, wow, you guys are actually doing stuff. I think it's like my husband and I both, like personality, we're just like, get done people. And not saying that we're gonna continue, I mean, we still have a lot to do, but I don't feel that way. I feel like we're getting things done even quicker now that we live here, and we're just taking it room by room. So you guys know that we have the kitchen done, you guys have seen the living room, and we are working on trim for like windows and baseboards, like one room at a time. And then the next like big things that we're gonna be doing that I can't wait to show you is, like I said, the pantry and the mudroom. And also we're doing something really cool at my daughter's closet to make her like a whole like craft sewing area inside of her closet. So I will definitely be sharing all of those projects that we're doing. But if you have other like questions about the build or particular things, either I'll answer them in the comments, or if there's like enough questions, then I can maybe do another sit down like Q&A style type video eventually. So thank you guys so much for watching and following along with this whole process. It is quite a lengthy one, and when we're finished inside, we definitely have lots of plans for outside. So I'm excited to kind of like take you guys along and show you all the things that we are doing along the way. Don't forget to check out CLARY if you're wanting to swap out your pans for a non-toxic alternative. I'd recommend getting the cookware set since you'll save 20% by bundling. Plus you can stack my discount code RLAHOUSE and get an additional 10% off. You can use my code to save on all of the products site-wide, and you can find my link down in my description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video.